Hey, welcome into another episode of the Seahawkers Show with your host, Todd Fox. That is me. As we preview the 5-1 Seahawks hosting them Santa Clara 49ers from down south, 4-3 coming into this one. Every team in the NFC West has a winning record. But, of course, if Seattle can seal the deal this Sunday at 1:25 up in Seattle, where the 12 should have packed that place out with some annoying 49er fans sprinkled in between. If they could win that game and go to 6-1, that puts the Niners 3 games back and a pretty good stranglehold on them. But the Cardinals have a pansy, I believe, this week, and then so does the Rams playing Tua, which I would have been feeling a little bit better with the Dolphins having Fitzpatrick starting against the Rams. But I digress. First of all, before I get to anything, please like and subscribe. You guys have been very generous with the messages and emails and whatnot, telling me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and hopefully, I hope just to entertain you, and we could talk as Seahawk fans, and you could like and agree to disagree or whatever, but hope you enjoyed the last video. It was tough to do because the Seahawks came off a very tough loss in a game we should have won, and then you have the 49ers pasting the Patriots. So they came off winning. We should have been 6-0 coming in there. Instead, we got the Niners on our heels. We got the Cardinals on our heels. And the Niners, we got the Rams on our heels. And we got the Niners who could be on our heels if we drop a game that could just be a game and a half out, or a half game out, actually, if we drop a game. So this is a very, very important football game. We haven't gotten to the easiest part of the schedule. There's still a lot to go. In this video, I'm going to preview the Niners-Seahawks, what needs to happen for both teams to win, and especially focusing on the Seahawks. Hopefully, this can be a game where the Seahawks take control and get to, just get to a good spot, because, I want to bring up here real quick, if I can, what's going on with the injuries. For the Niners, Deebo Samuel's out. That's a big one. Their safety, Terrett, is questionable. Ricky James, receiver, who cares about that guy? Quan Alexander, questionable. That's a big one if they don't have him. And Jimmy Ward as well is questionable. It's a little more dire for the Seahawks. I know we made the trade for Dunlop from Cincinnati. I think his best years were behind him. I think a lot of Seahawk fans were like, oh, we got Carlos Dunlop and it's kind of cool and everything else like that. But he's played in the league for 10 years already. He just has 1 sack this year and 18 tackles in 7 games or whatever. So it's not too impressive. So I'm not, I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. And then you got Snacks from Detroit who was just eating his way off the field. It's not Snacks. He should be called Buffet, because he's not getting anything done. And it's been over 2 weeks and he's still on the practice squad. So some Seahawk fans want J.J. Watt, stuff like that. That'd be too big of a price tag, because Houston still overvalues that dude. Jamal Adams, safety, obviously that's the one we really need. He's questionable, although he hasn't hit practice yet, so I don't count on that guy. Ryan Neal, we really need to play. I hope he can play. Chris Carson's another one who's questionable, and I don't know if he'll play. And if we don't have because look at our starting 3, Chris Carson, Carlos Hyde, and Travis Homer are all on the injury list. So even with all that said, Seattle's sitting there 3-point favorites against the Niners at home. So we're just going to have to take that with a grain of salt, and hopefully Seattle can come through. Again, no 12s there. Let's get into some of the stuff that's going to happen here. So here's some highlights here. I brought up some Niners stuff real quick. And this is when they played the Rams. Garoppolo, if you look at these plays right here and how the Rams are playing defense, they're playing like a little soft zone right here, sort of what the Seahawks do. Watch the gimmickry. Look, I said it last year and the year before. When the Rams went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, Rams ran a lot of gimmick type off. The Niners basically stole the Rams playbook. They ran a lot of this gimmick crap, which makes defenses have to think. Look, it's gimmicky, but it makes defenders absolutely be on their heels every play, because anybody can touch the ball. Now watch how many times homeboy runs a play action right here. Look, fake, or the handoff to the receiver, which is Samuel, who's injured. Most start the running back's going to nail the linebacker and just open up a huge hole. And this actually turns into a bigger play than it should have been.
Hand it off to Samuel. They do that a lot. Run the wideouts, and Samuel thinks he was not tackled. He still takes off and gets all the way down to the 35-yard line. And
terrible tackling. I wouldn't put that past our defense this week either. And that's the thing, too. There has to be better tackling. And the offense is as much as I love for them to air it out with Russell Wilson, they've got to control the clock against the Niners in a way, because if we're going to continue to put our defense out in bad situations, bad things will happen. That fourth quarter and overtime, where they were gassed. Seattle should have sealed the deal on offense, and they left their defense to hang, only scoring 7 points in the second half and in overtime.
everybody's moving in that direction. So even though it looked like Samuel was down, he might have been on top of somebody.
Now here's another play right here. Watch just the play action or the fakes to these guys that opens up the field, because again, you don't know who's going to get it. If the linebackers fail to make the right read,
didn't blow the whistle.
No,
they didn't call forward progress.
Landed on top of Troy Hill. Rams didn't argue. Ayuk makes the grab, and the rookie from Arizona.
And looking for Ayuk, he came out of the backfield. He motioned as a running back out in a crazy style, and then he got open in the flat. Brendan Ayuk will be used a lot with Samuel not there. He's been used a lot lately in the last 3 games, and is a good rookie receiver. So again, that's another weapon Seattle's got to try to contain that the Niners have, let alone that annoying tight end that I can't stand, Kittle. So we'll see some of him too with his little that's real prissy to me.
Arizona State picks up a first down.
Whether they're throwing the ball to the runners or not.
So far, so good.
And see those plays right there open up the play action. Now he wanted to go downfield a little bit here, but then the screen popped open with Kittle. So he fakes the receiver, or to the running back, and then he looks downfield like he's going to throw the football, and then freaking Garoppolo just does a little dump to Kittle, and then here's the screen pass.
The opening drive off the play fake. Kittle makes the catch. Has a lot of room inside the 10 and sets up a first and goal. Run it twice.
Again, here's Samuel coming in on motion, and he's just going to get the pitch, and it's just speed versus speed to the outside, and he scores.
Thrown it 3 times. Samuel again will take this little toss here, looking for blocking, has enough, and
there's play action pass. This is when all those other gimmicky plays aren't used, and they can actually use a real play action. Look what happens.
Play fake, dump it off to him, and he's able to avoid that tackle. And then
so even there, he was trying to go downfield, but the Rams had good coverage. He was still able to find Mostert. That's the problem with the 49er offense. You got to hope to contain it. You got to hope that even with all the injuries they have, and we all know that Garoppolo's a product of the system, and he's a mediocre quarterback at best. And when tested, and when the Niners are behind, he has a losing record. He does not bring teams back. He's a ball control. We got to stay up in the lead. When he has to make throws, bad things happen. Because if you're able to pin your ears back and actually have a pass rush and get in his face, he's a below-average quarterback. Believe me, he is. Just look at the games where people have put pressure in his face. He's no good. But when you give him time like this, which worries me, because not only do you have to watch the gimmicks and all those fake runs and all this other stuff, you gotta get pressure on him. And if Seattle has shown you anything the first 7 games of the season, or 6 games of the season, is that they can't pressure anybody. And that's the thing that's going to frustrate me on Sunday if we lose this game, because that's what it's going to come down to. Whether it's a stunt, a blitz, or whatever you have to do, you have to get in his face. And the other thing is, too, it's a catch-22. If you get any kind of penetration, knowing that you have a Seahawk logo on your helmet, you got to realize it's either one or 2 things. Someone blew assignment to let you in, or they're going to run a screen. So right when you get let go, back the hell up and look for the first running back or receiver and try to make a play. Try to blow it up, because I guarantee you, if you see one of your buddies on the Seahawk line, I'm talking to you defensive ends, if you see one of your boys on the outside getting in with you with no pressure, it's a screen. And the Niners will screen us to death like they did the Rams in this game.
Up to the 32-yard line, got away from Leonard Floyd.
Offense in their physical play.
McKinnon now the running back. Juszczyk is the fullback.
Again.
And the pass is thrown.
Look what that opens up. He's throwing to Juszczyk, which is the fullback. So they fake the end around to the receiver, kind of look down the field on a play action and or a play action to the running back, and then they look downfield, but then they just drop it off because Juszczyk is open. it looks hopeless. It's not. I'm just saying that you have to stay home. These guys have to stay in their roles, and I don't trust Garoppolo with a deep ball. So I much rather play one-on-one on the outside and make him beat you, because I don't think he can.
2 U's check, and the fullback will pick up 9 yards in the second quarter.
But if you give him easy plays like this, he's going to burn you all day.
Here's Mostert trying to pick up that first down. He'll be a couple of yards.
Moving the back up.
Now here's how you can beat the Niners defense in a way.
Take one of them.
5-man rush. Goff's going to run. He doesn't do this often, but he does it.
Russell Wilson, pump fake, and the Niners over-aggressively come in. That's what they do. And I predict Russell's going to have a nice game on the ground because these guys over-pursue. And if you can break that first line and there's no linebackers there, or you can get past that spy, you got room to run, and Wilson's a better runner than Goff. Goff sucks at running.
With effectiveness out to the 47-yard line. Taylor was coming on a blitz. Yeah, Aaron's feasted on that through the years. First down and 5. Flag thrown, and a big run.
And why I show that, the flag was on the Niners, but the fact that you can run on these guys. There's this persona that you can't run on the Niners. There's this persona that they have the big, bad defense. They don't. They're 4-3. And let's just be real. 2 of the 4 wins they got came against the Giants and Jets. Yes, they're on our schedule too. Have we played them yet? No. They lost to the Miami Dolphins, which we beat. You can take whatever you want out of that. It is what it is. The fact they've won 2 straight, okay, give you that. But the Niners, in a way, you can run on their defense. Their defense is not all that good. And if they can't get to the quarterback, their secondary is very suspect. Very suspect. And what did we just see happen against the suspect? Well, in my mind, a better defensive cornerback secondary or whatever, the Cardinals. They got torched. And you know, Russell Wilson ate him up, except the fact that he made a couple bad reads. But other than that, I mean, he for the most part, he ate up that defense. So I think that there's going to be a lot more scoring in this game as far as the Seahawks over the Niners. You know, like I think that they're going to be able to take a lot more shots than the Niners will. I think they're going to go downfield first, so that could hurt my gameplay as far as trying to control the clock. And as far as the running game goes, that's the big what if, because who's going to start at running back? I have no idea. If it's Chris Carson, I love our chances. If it's, DJ Dallas, I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, I like his size and whatnot, but I don't know, man. He's unproven. And then Carlos Hyde, I would love for him to get back at his old team, but we'll have to see if he's healthy enough.
Here, but what about the penalty for him?
So far, Garoppolo hasn't held the ball long enough to get Donald really engaged.
Second down.
And here's how you could stop him. See, another gimmicky play, fake to the running back, pitch to the wide receiver. But look at Ramsey snorts it out, and so does the linebacker. He blows through the block, gets past the first blocker.
5, they're going to flip it to Samuel, and he cannot get
and there's nothing there. So that's how you stay. You have to stay home and make the right read. Right there, the Rams made the right read, and that gimmicky play got blown up. And they will get themselves into situations where you can blow up a gimmicky play and make them lose 4 to 6 yards, and that's big. Going from like a 2nd and 3 to a 2nd and 16, that could be a drive killer.
The backfield, that is down in 6.
And then here it is right here. Goff makes a mediocre throw, and it still goes for a touchdown. Their secondary's trash. Trust me, it's trash. Dude, and I wish Richard Sherman was playing in this game because that loudmouth, dude, I know a lot of Seahawks fans still love him. But look, fact of the matter is, he turned down offers from the Patriots. He wanted to play the Seahawks twice a year. Why not go to their rival, the 49ers? And he has that right to do that. But we also have that right as fans not to like it. Some of you guys will ride or die with that dude, and you'll ride or die with Earl Thomas flipping off your coach. That's fine. But to me, out of the LOB, Cam Chancellor is my number one guy. That guy stuck with the Seahawks from day one and still there riding with the Seahawks. So that's my boy right there, Cam Chancellor. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree on that one.
Goff going for it all this time and reaching for it, and a flag is thrown. Is the catch made?
Yes, it was. That was a touchdown. Now here's some more of what the Niners can do.
Screen game. Complete player. 2nd and 3.
Now, see, let me just show you this again, because look right here. Deebo Samuel, the linebacker right here for the Patriots, this is just stupid. This is stupid awareness on his part. I don't even think in Madden they do this. But you see the linebacker right here, he makes the right read. He's looking right in the quarterback's eyes. He is wanting to go to Samuel all the way. And if he just says, okay, you know what, I'll trust my line. I'll let these 4 guys come in here and try to put some pressure on Garoppolo, because obviously these 2 guys are blocking right here. This guy's blocking right there. Kittle's the only other guy going out for the route. And he's actually open, but Garoppolo wants to hit Samuel. If the linebacker just stays home and shadows Samuel, he could get a pick. Or if anything, it'll force Garoppolo to run around, get sacked. It just alternates the whole play. Instead, he reads it perfect till about right here, and then for some reason makes a run at Garoppolo.
Able to get over to Deebo Samuel, and look at Kittle out in front blocking.
That's what cannot happen. And then look at it right here again. Stupid motion where they're right here, and then they start running way back here and trying to throw you off.
I was like, you know, just get started right after. You built this thing.
There's Kittle. There he is. And in.
So if you get caught looking at the dumb receiver running this stupid little motion, they'll just kill you with a slant if your linebacker's out of place. Gimmick offense. That's what it is.
Side the 20 to the creators. 2nd and 8. Go back to Deebo.
Again, they read that play pretty good, with the exception of the fact that down the field was taken down, but he still gets down the field because Samuel right here came out of the backfield. The linebacker didn't come up to push him or didn't come up to get anywhere close. He had a bad angle, and Samuel still gets the corner. So that's, in my mind, that play defensively was half made right. It wasn't all the way.
Shows his speed.
I find that out pretty.
And then we're going to go this just a couple Seahawk highlights because you know what they can do, but this is just basically what they have to do against the freaking 49ers, and that is utilize tight ends. If the Seahawks don't utilize their tight ends in this game, they're in trouble, in my opinion. I think those have to be the outlets to help the wide receivers get open, because if you could dink and dunk them with some tight ends, then at some point the Niners are going to want to throw a linebacker on them or maybe run zone themselves, or just try to go one-on-one, and then you have, instead of the safeties looking after the tight ends and linebackers, you can just go over the top. You know what I mean? And they'll be there all day.
Sometimes it means not for long. That catch is made along the sideline here by Greg Olsen, so they get the tight end into the action. Yeah, it's the spark you hate to see, but, you know, it's reality. Wilson now fires, and that will be pulled in by Will Dissly for the touchdown.
And then right here, I just want to highlight this. This was a great turnover. They got a couple turnovers against Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins and Garoppolo are pretty well equipped, except the fact, or about the same, except for the fact that he doesn't run a game good. He's not a good game manager like Garoppolo. And the fact that Garoppolo can't put up stats when he's losing, but freaking Kirk Cousins can. He makes fantasy owners actually want to hold on to him because he'll put up 300 yards but in garbage time.
3rd and 17. That is a incomplete pass. It was tipped.
It was a fumble recovered by Seattle at the 15-yard line. It will be
That's
their ball, 1st and 10 at the 15.
They have some.
That's the reason why I showed you that too, is because he fumbles a lot. Kirk Cousins fumbles a lot. So does Garoppolo. He just hasn't been hit in the last couple of weeks, and that's why they're 2-0. In this play right here, this is supposed to be a screen pass right here to Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald will try to get the angle right here, but this defender makes a way better gets a better angle, these two defenders right here, and just snuff the play out. This happened 2 or 3 times in that Cardinal game, and I think that's how aggressive the Seahawks defense has to be, especially if we get Jamal Adams back. But even if we don't, they have to play aggressive like this, because if these kind of plays work, then the Seahawks are obviously in trouble, like you saw what happened when the Niners played the Rams. But this is a play right here where the Cardinals try to get cute, and it didn't work.
Minus Jamal Adams, and it's a big loss, and that is taken care of immediately. The shoulder for you.
Then right here is just hitting your tight end.
2nd and 11 as Wilson throws here, and it will be caught.
Which will open up the field.
Ball, throw it down the field. Elusive guys, it's great.
And this is what he needs to do against the Niners too. because the Cardinals kind of play the same defense. These guys are going to be dragging across both sides, and if he sees the field open right there in the hash marks, he's going to take off every time.
It's the new deal. Here goes Wilson again for his second long run. Slides to a stop near midfield. After Seattle takes its first time out. Blitz coming, it's picked up, pass is caught.
Basically the same play before when he ran, except they were guarding it better. This time, they kind of like were spying him, and the receiver had one-on-one coverage.
Tyler Lockett, a first down and a few more before he's out of bounds inside the 40-yard line.
And I believe this can happen against that Niners secondary all day.
I think so. Looks like man coverage, too.
Wilson retreating, and he's going to throw deep downfield, and it is Lockett for the touchdown. Behind his running back.
Then right here is what Seattle can do too. I don't think it can happen with Homer, because Homer, he seems to get hit and he just goes down. I mean, that dude can't break a tackle to save his life. DJ Dallas, I kind of saw him break a couple tackles against Miami and a couple other appearances he had. But my money is on Hyde. If Hyde can start, he has, again, a relationship with a lot of the Niners on there. He despises that organization now that he's gone. And he loves Seattle, and I would love to see him get revenge against them. But obviously, if Chris Carson can play, then Hyde's got to ride the bench. But I'm cool with Hyde because he could do stuff like this. You can give him the ball to the outside, and he can hit that corner. He did it like several times against the Cardinals. And Cardinals have a fast defense.
Carson is on the sideline but holding his helmet. He hasn't been in for a while. Here goes Hyde around the left side.
I rather have saw that play at the end of the game on 3rd and 2 than the play that they ran, which I'll get into in a second.
That earlier, Dwayne Brown.
Russell Wilson's success has opened the door for a lot of other guys to have opportunity.
Stepping down to 4.
And again, to the tight end. Keep doing that. Now here's where I'm gonna fast forward to where you can't do. Now here's a play that obviously worked. Now look at the lineup right here. You got Metcalf up here. You got Tyler Lockett already with like close to 200 yards at that point. And you got Swain. You got a tight end right here, and then you got Hyde in the backfield. You hand the ball off to him, stretch play, and he gets 9 yards, right, or he gets 7.
Goes over that one time out.
The key right here is the defensive line is getting pushed back. And the offensive lineman, Posick, I think it is right here, is putting a hit on the linebacker. So everything on this play is working. Metcalf is hitting Peterson up here, and you basically created a nice little gap to get through, and basically he's going to pick up the yards he needs to. Almost got the first down to end the game. But the thing is, you're getting to that second level to where Budda Baker has to come up to try to make a tackle, and this could have iced the game, but it didn't. Now,
here goes Hyde, and Hyde's going to make.
Budda Baker saved that first down. I mean, if he doesn't hit him high, or he's not getting tripped up and he makes that first down, I thought it was more like right here. Now, for whatever Schottenheimer decides to do this. Now, look at the clock right here. It's 34-31. Seattle's still in the lead. There's 1:42 to go. The Cardinals have zero timeouts. So at this point, you just got to cross this imaginary yellow line, and the game is over. And you're just like taking 2 knees, and then it's exchanging. No, you can't do exchange jersey this year, COVID. But you can go up and you can high five. You can do all that stuff, and the game's over. You won the game. Look at the same formation that the Seahawks just ran the play before. Tight end sitting next to the left tackle. Slot receiver. You got Lockett down here as a decoy. Metcalf up there as a major blocker on Peterson. The difference is the Cardinals came with 2 extra guys on the line. Then you have the linebackers only 2 yards off the football. Safety's down, or safety in a corner right here as well. No lead blocker, because the Seahawks can't use a tight end, or you can't use a fullback. They just don't want to do that. My thing would be like, okay, you just ran a stretch to the right side. Why don't you bootleg out of this and have him come around this way, Wilson, or even play action pass? Like, I would have been more like satisfied if they would do a deep, like a stretch play action, and if it's not there, deep to Metcalf Run them around this way and have Lockett run around and come back and just have a quick pass. And if it's not there, let Wilson run. No, they ran the same exact play. Difference is, watch the defensive line on this play, how they get the penetration, and there's like nowhere for freaking Hyde to go.
He's going to get stopped.
See, on that play, the linemen were behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. They never got the push. Cardinals, they adapted. Seattle didn't. So don't give me that crap of how they lost in overtime or the defense couldn't hold them with a minute some odd to go, holding, what is it called, Kyler Murray in that offense. The fact of the matter was, despite the egregious call on the field goal and all the other stuff that happened that was wrong during the game, you get those 2 yards, none of that crap in overtime matters. It just doesn't. So that's what angers me in that one, is the fact that Seattle had their shot, and a simple play like that can kill them. How that translates to the Niners is, if the Seahawks do get a lead, put your goddamn foot on their neck and or just, what's that from that movie? Anyway, you just strangle them, man. Put them out of their misery. I mean, I don't know how many times, besides the Miami game, and even Miami had a last chance in that game, the Seahawks refuse to put teams away when they have the opportunity to. Whether it's just a poor stretch of play calling in the third quarters or something goes wrong, they don't execute, they let teams in the game. So if the Seahawks actually do have a lead and are holding on to a double digit to a 10-point lead, it scares me, because it's so easy for them to just get lax and not put the foot on the pedal and not just put a stranglehold to your opponent. They just ease up and just play a relaxed defense. A lot of that, as you know, Seahawks fans, falls on Ken Norton, and a lot of it falls on Carroll. I love Carroll's rah-rah attitude. I love his offensive game plan with Schottenheimer. I love a lot of that stuff, okay? But when it comes to defense, I think since he's been here, since the LOB was kind of defunct, he's never really gotten the team to get back to that. Let's put an end to this drive. Let's put an end to this game. Let's actually finish things off. And they're just not aggressive. In the last 2-3 years, no pass rush. That's the teams, when it comes down to it, and Russell Wilson only wins 1 Super Bowl, it'll be because of the bad play call at the 1 yard line, and then it'll also be because this team never progressed back defensively. They may have transformed themselves offensively, but defensively, this team's taken steps back because they're not aggressive. Defensively, they're just not aggressive. They'll let you dink and dunk them to death and tire them out. Their defensive play, the way that they calls and plays, and with the talent that they've had, they want you to, for some reason, it feels like when you're watching the game, if the defense is left out there too long, because the style they play, they're just getting dinked and dunked to death, and then occasional runs that weren't happening in the first half start to happen in the second half, like the Cardinals. They just started gashing us because they were tired. They were out there too long. I know I'm frustrated for a 5-1 team. I should be a lot more happier, but this is a stressful game coming up here, guys. This is the 49ers. There's not many Cardinal fans out there. And losing to them, who cares? No, not who cares, but it sucks because they are a rival technically. But the fact that it's just that, this game means so much more. This is the game. And every Seahawks fan should circle this game before a season starts. What day it is, when is it? Is it prime time? How's it going to affect the season? And this, like I said, it's a big game. If they beat us, either the Rams or Cardinals jump us in the standings if they win, which most likely they will. And then the Niners are just right there, half game behind us. And then there's just a 4-way logjam in that freaking division. Now, if we win and the Cardinals and Rams or one of them falter, that's even better, but we're guaranteed to have one team, even if we win, be a half game on our asses. But the difference is, like I said in the beginning of the video, the Niners will be 3 games back. And that's huge, huge. 3.5 maybe. Because if you win that next game, that's 4. The doubles. So Big game. I'm just severely disappointed that there's going to be no Hawks fans there. I'm still pissed off with this like everyone else is about the COVID crap. I'm over it. I wish it was over. I wish people weren't dying, supposedly. I want people in the stands. I don't get how college stadiums can be like full and we have a beautiful stadium and we can't even put a couple thousand in there. And it's even whack to put a couple thousand in there. You know what I mean? Like, I just wish we can all go back maybe next year, but Seahawk fans, cheer as loud as you can from wherever you're at, no matter what continent, whatever state, whatever city. It's all about the Seahawks. Screw the 49ers and their fans. Let's beat them. Let's rub it in their face. I'm not classy when it comes to the 49ers because they're not classy to me. So it is what it is, okay? So that's just me. This is the Seahawker Show. I'm glad you guys stuck it out to this point. And like I said, please hit the like and subscribe button. I love you guys forever. Go Hawks, baby. Oh, wait. Before I do, prediction, Seahawks 31, Niners 28.